Hello guys, and welcome to a new Steel Division 2 video today by me, Vulcan. Today I have for you Game 3 between Vesely and Gonzo in Season 6 of the Steel Division 2 League. Today they're going to be playing on Shchedrin, and on our left in the red team playing on the allied side, once again we have Gonzo using the 7th Mechanised and the balanced deployment type, and on our right in the blue team we have Vesely playing on the Axis side, using the 11th SS once again, and the Maverick deployment type. So the reason these guys are playing a third game, if you guys missed the previous two games, I would definitely recommend you go check them out. But yeah, if you guys missed it, basically the reason they're playing a third game is to determine who is going to take the first seed in the regular season of Season 6 of the Steel Division 2 League. And why that's important is because it basically gives whoever wins a bye of the first round in the playoffs. So they basically get put straight into the semi-finals. Bit of a head start. So this is going to be a very, very interesting matchup. I am very surprised to see Vesely put up such a good fight against Gonzo. Gonzo's been very, very dominant previously in the Steel Division League alongside Karma. And to see another opponent put him up against the wall is really, really cool to see, and has given us some very exciting games already. Vesely managed to beat Gonzo very quickly in the first game they played against each other that I've shown you guys. And in the second game, Gonzo managed to pull out the long game and take one back. So Gonzo's going to be trying to do the same thing again in this one. He has the balanced deployment type, so he will want to get to Phase C, where he has the income bonus over Vesely and his Maverick deployment type. Vesely doesn't want that to happen, of course, so he's going to be pushing very, very hard early on and hoping for the best. Let's have a look at what units are going down. On the left here for Gonzo, he's going to be having 2 Tankos lead the charge into the town with a Razvedka and a leader, 3 Staraki DP. Into the middle, we're going to be seeing 2 Staraki DP, a standard Staraki, 2 Tankos and the Staraki leader, with 3 2-star T-34-76 1943s, and on the bottom side he's going to have 2 2-star T-34-76 1943s, 2 Staraki DP, Tankos, Dushka, and a leader. On the side of Vesely, he's got 2 Pioneers heading into the town with the Panzergren with the MG26s. He's got the Panzerschreck following that up. On this road, also probably going into the town, that's 3 more units of Panzergrens with the Pioneer Führer, with the MG42, another Panzergrenadier with Panzerfaust, Panzerschreck, Puma as well. These could also be going down this road to the centre of the map, so that could also be the case. Or at least some of them, or half of them. Vesely further down on the bottom road here, he's got the Panzergrens with MG26s again. 3 standard Panzergren squads, which do come with MG42s, and then they've got the SPW231 to follow that up, MG42 there, Pioneer, not sure if I mentioned the Puma, and the Panzerschreck as well. So, yeah, Vesely seems to be very comfortable with this deck. The Pumas can trade quite nicely with the T-34s early on, but they need to be used within like a closer range engagement, because otherwise generally what happens is you'll see the Pumas just get kind of picked off at range, because they're technically light armored cars, so they only take 1 shot from a T-34 to die, and whilst a Puma needs to hit a T-34 twice in order to kill it. Vesely hasn't got a Panther D at the start though on this bottom side, so that will certainly put a lot of pressure onto any T-34s that are caught out in the open. But no recon plane coming out at the start this time around. That's something certainly to note. Both of the games that we've casted between these two players so far, Vesely has invested into a recon plane at the start, and this time around none of those shenanigans, so maybe some mind games going on there. Maybe Vesely expecting Gonzo to invest in some early AA to prevent that from happening this time around or something. But nope. Gonzo's just gone with a standard strategy, infantry, tanks, and is going to look for favourable engagements, especially in the town. He's going to have definitely an infantry advantage up there. In the centre, things are going to be looking more equal. This Puma Might manage to pick off some of these transports. Actually, this is really, really important. Vesely here. Oh, he's going to take out one. Can he take out another? No. Gonzo's not going to let it happen. He unloads those infantry units, and the Puma's going to be taking HE pot shots. The HE of the Puma is pretty underpowered, so these infantry should be okay. But the early Arado, it's a Phase A Arado. We saw it come in later in the last game, and this explains exactly why. Or why we didn't see more of them is because he brings it in Phase A. Gonzo here spreading out his infantry. Bomb lands right in the middle, doesn't take a single squad out. Tankos get halved. These T-34s trying to get a shot onto the Puma. They do manage to do so. Trades a shot onto the T-34-76 there. It does take a shot, I believe. But takes out that armoured car. Super important. Dushka going to be able to pin the MG42 in the open as well. Because the Dushka is in heavy cover here, it's allowing it to pin down the MG42, which would usually win that engagement. Focke-Wulf, though, going to turn things around. Nice strafing run onto the Dushka there. The Panther D also engaging. Or Strelki moving through the cover here. But Gonzo, big mistake there. Lets his leader die. That removes some of the veterancy here from all of his infantry. Meanwhile, Vesely's maintaining his veterancy by keeping his Pioneer Führer back. Still not really a good engagement for Vesely's infantry because Gonzo's in heavy cover whilst he is not. And this Panzerschreck is going to get spotted. Really important kill there for Gonzo as well. So Gonzo made the mistake of losing his leader. I would say Vesely made the mistake of losing the Panzerschreck, because without the Panzerschreck, or at least that Panzerschreck dying, Gonzo might get pretty aggressive with his tanks. You just got to be careful of this Panther, which can still potentially shut down any armor play over this hill. Focke-Wulf coming in with a strafing run onto this infantry. Takes out a couple extra men with the strafing run. And we're going to see Strelki DP moving in against the Panzergrens. With the Strelki DP, they've got the 9 Mosins and the 2 machine guns. Ooh, nice Panzerschreck kill there onto the T-34. The Strelki, though, they got a submachine gun, and this does make them a bit more effective at the close range engagements with something like a Panzergrenadier with the MG26s. But again, as I mentioned before, the MG26 Panzergrens, they do have the MG26, which is able to fire at within 100 meter range, because technically classed as an automatic rifle. Whereas the DPs that the Strelki use cannot be used within the 100 meter range. Now, I didn't really get much of a chance to talk about Gonzo's division as a whole, since things kind of got underway pretty quickly. But the 7th is very similar, actually, to the 1st Polish that we saw in the previous game. They're a very aggressive, medium armor division. And so far, you could see like the amount of T-34s that have come out from the start, supported by the Strelki. As P3, is it going to go down? It took 3 strafing runs there from the Focke-Wulf 190s and managed to get out alive. AA here supporting against these Focke-Wulf 190s does allow the P40 to get the kill. T-34, did that just manage to bounce a Panzerschreck kill or hit or something? Because it seemed to have taken some sort of bounce crit or something there. Regardless, Strelki DP going to be engaging these Panzergrens. When the MG42s fire, you can see how much suppression the Strelki take. In that case, doesn't lose a man though, which is really nice. P40 taking some liberties and strafing the Panzergrens while the Focke-Wulfs are off the field. But the infantry has been pushed off the hill here. Vesely's Panzergrens winning out. Oh, Panzerschreck again, lovely kill. Nice micro from the Panzerschreck up here, making up for the loss on the bottom side. Dushka will pin down the Panzerschreck, but unlikely to kill it. The thing about Dushka is it had a lot of suppression, but not really much lethality. And so in this case, yeah, it can pin down the Panzerschreck, but it's not going to die. That bombing strike from the P3. 100 kilogram bombs there, pinning down Gonzo's own unit. Does force back Vesely with those the Panzergren MG26 there. Or SU-85. Looking for the engagement with the Panther D. If the Panther D keeps backing up, then it might be okay. But that first hit causes a transmission damage. Regular occurrence for a Panther. But can the Su-85 remain on target with those APCR shots? Super important, but takes a clean hit from the Panther D, which does give it a lot of stress, makes the Su-85 very inaccurate at range. And the Panther D is going to survive to fight another day. Maintains its positioning, and the Arado coming in with a critical bombing strike here onto the bottom side of the map. If this wipes out a couple of these Tankos, it's going to give these Panzergrens a really, really nice spot on top of this hill. And the 1,000 kilogram bombs does pin down his own Panzergrens, but wipes out both of those squads. So really, really good position here for Vesely at the start of the game. 17-7, making great use of these MG26 Panzergrens at close range with high veterancy. Maintaining that veterancy, super, super important throughout this game. So Gonzo did get another Strelki Komroti up here, which is going to allow his Strelki to be a bit more effective. He'll probably be able to kill off this Panzergren squad. This one as well, potentially, just due to the veterancy difference here. A little bit of lag, apologies. The other nice thing about these MG26 is they do get 2 submachine guns, which is actually more than the standard Strelki squads that Gonzo is using. It's also another reason why they're actually pretty damn effective at close range. Panther D, oh, lovely shot there onto the T-34. You'd expect it to hit from that range for sure, Hannon. Made good work of the T-34, just needs to finish it off though. Doug now pushing up aggressively. Going to be covered by another MG42. Seems like both of the previous MG42s that got low health were moved up onto this hill, but the Panther D there does get the second shot into that T-34, cleans it up. Panzergren's pushing back more Strelki DP, and Gonzo just seems to be having a real problem with infantry quality. Oh, nice hit there from the T-34, gets a side shot into the Panther D. Su-85 does go down though. It already had an APCR shot hit the Stug 4, but that's really bad. The PaK-40 takes out the second Su-85, and the Su-85s are probably the only armour that Gonzo really has to deal with Panther Ds right now. Vesely's in a very, very, very commanding position in this game. Going to take out another Strelki Komroti down here. T-34 is going to be forced off the hill as the Stug approaches. SPW-231 just charging down the road, looking for any and all units coming its way just to make sure that it's ahead, and could easily take out the 37mm here as well. These Strelki DP just don't work very well at close range. The Strelki DP are great at range. Oh, lovely shot there from the T-34. Takes out the 231 before it kills the 37. It was so close to doing so. Yeah, these Strelki DP just getting absolutely beaten around. Pioneer gets a grenade off. That's going to chunk these squads even more. Although it does seem to miss with the fallback command there. T-34 76 at close range is going to be vital to help suppress these Panzergrens. And there hasn't really been too much ground made on the top. It seems like both players have been very, very passive here. Neither really moving up their forces. Oh, T-34 traded with the Stug. The Stug was damaged from the Su-85 engagements previously. They managed to trade off the T-34 to finish it off. T-3 is now coming in with the bombing strikes. 2 100 kilogram bombs in each of these. It can do a lot of damage. Going to take out one squad, damages these two. Strelki DP on the run still though. Focke-Wulf 190, will it be able to get that kill? Pretty important that it does. You can start whittling down some of these PE3s. That would take away any chance of Gonzo being able to prevent Vesely's pushes in towards his spawn, because basically what happens is aircraft become much more effective the closer the enemy is to your spawn, because they're not going to have AA that close. So he's getting basically free bombing strikes there at the moment. Really good kill though from the Panther D onto the Su-85, another really important kill. Taking out those Su-85s at range kind of negates their ability to be able to take out the Panther D, because you kind of want to engage with an Su-85 at closer ranges with the Panther D, so you're sort of guaranteed a bit more penetration. 81mm mortars firing away onto Straki here. Pioneer's not going to be in a really good spot here, but it's going to reveal the T-34 and maybe allow the Panzergrens to sneak up and get a Panzerfaust shot off. It's like they have been spotted though. T-34 is just going to continue to drive forwards, because that's all it can really do. Going to have to turn its turret, maybe hit the 231. It looks like it might get pinned down, and if it does, that's going to surrender. That's taken out. Fortunate for the T-34. And if we zoom all the way out, I know you guys like me to zoom in, but if we look at the state of the game right now, things are very much in favour of Vesely. 15-9. 231's doing a good job against the Straki DP there. And Vesely really just doing an amazing job with his infantry, just to completely crush Gonzo's ability to take any close cover. And now the recon aircraft coming out. The Focke-Wulf 190, Arado bomber. And this is what I was hoping to see in the last game, where he uses the Arado to kind of preemptively bomb where he's going to push. Because then it forces the infantry back of Gonzo, maybe he just kills the infantry of Gonzo, and then he can push on it. In this case, he's just kind of running the wrong way, in my opinion. Maybe you're going to wait for another bombing strike, maybe wait for more reinforcements. It looks like that's what he's going to do. Going to have 6 SDKF Z259s ready to push into this town and crush any and all infantry resistance. The Straki DPs do have PTRDs, so they can kill the 259s, but they're pretty low rate of fire, so it's something that Vesely can take advantage of with those 20mm autocannons. This 81mm mortar is so far up. It is covered by the Flak 88. If anything comes up this road, it's going to get blapped. Panther D is still up here in cover as well though, so that's going to be preventing any reinforcements on this bottom side road. And I think the reason you're seeing Gonzo bringing everything in the middle is because he doesn't want more stuff to be killed on this bottom side, like the Su-85. So, being in the position that Vesely's in, it's kind of prevented Gonzo from really being able to reinforce the bottom side of the map, which is a really, really bad position to be in. But here comes some off-map. The KV-1E here is a really, really awesome unit. It is basically a normal KV-1E with its 2 machine guns and its HE and its AP value. Going to be good for taking out these 259s. But also has the ability to call an off-map, which is really, really useful. P3 is coming in with the bombing strikes once again. Going to be trying to dunk some of these infantry squads. Unfortunately, having only 2 100kg bombs does mean that sometimes you're not really going to do much damage to these infantry squads, especially if they're not accurately dropped. And you saw that there. If they just land like slightly off, the squad just takes no damage. Yes, it will be suppressed, but it doesn't matter if you don't have anything nearby to surrender them. P40 going to try and go for the BF-109, but forced off by the 88. BF-109 going to turn around to try and chase. Unlikely to get close enough in time. Avtos have been brought up to support the push through the town. Gonzo seeing an opportunity here to try and take back some flags whilst he's lost it elsewhere on the map. Because what Gonzo's basically got to try and do is hold out till phase C, right? And if he manages to do that, he can start to gain back any disadvantage, make it into an advantage with that extra income boost. But at this point in the game, with Vesely's control on these hills, it's so difficult for Gonzo to find a way back into this match. I think Vesely's really put himself in a position to just outright win this one. 259 there, managing to hide out of line of sight of the T-34 for quite a significant amount of time. Because there's no recon in the town and none of the infantry could see the 259, the 259 was able to open up for quite a long time before the T-34 fought back. And if this 259 gets on target as well, without just being dunked straight away, It might be able to surrender it. No, not quite. If that had managed to get a second set of 20mm shots into that T-34, it would have been pinned. And that would have allowed this Pioneer to surrender it. But instead, the Pioneers get pinned. T-34 kills the 259. That's job done. Stug 3 almost takes out the T-34 here. Might actually do so anyway. 3-star Stug. Very, very accurate. Takes the shot. Gets the kill. And that's what you like to see. When you got high veterancy... Wait, was that a Strauki? It just killed the Panther with the PTRD. What just happened? I guess Gonzo needs that kind of thing to happen right now. His PE2 in a really bad position. Focke-Wulf not quite able to get on the back of it though. Really nice micro from Gonzo. Made sure that the Focke-Wulf just kind of like completely overshot that attack. It's the bombing strike down. Didn't look like it was terribly effective. Going to see more bombing strikes come in. This one's looking for the infantry in the building here. Pushes them off. 2 minutes 40 seconds left. Can Gonzo bring this back enough to get back in the game? Like, he's made the push up here, which has given him a little bit of leeway, especially in the fact that it's given him a salient over this bridge and has given him this flag on the backside of the town back. But I do kind of feel like Vesely's position on the bottom side of this map is almost too commanding for him to do anything about, and he's got this kind of standoff here between Strauki DP and the Panzergrenadier MG26s, and he's going to have to try and boot these out. E2 looks like it might make that happen. 14 to 10 would give him an extra couple minutes, and he's only got a couple minutes until phase B, so is that going to be enough? We will see. Off-map did come down. Doesn't look like it was terribly effective. The 259s are still doing a lot of damage. Stug's still able to deal with the KV-1E at close range. Like, this is a really bad spot for the KV-1E. The KV-1E doesn't trade well against the Stug, and the main reason being rate of fire, and also just general like accuracy. The main reason that the Stug is so much better for accuracy than the KV-1E at that range is because the Stug's base range is 1,750 meters and the KV-1E's is 1,500, which means at closer ranges the Stug 3's accuracy is scaled higher, so it gets a bigger bonus. Either way, Gonzo's going to give up the game. 18 minutes, 55 seconds, he surrenders, and Vesely takes the win. Very, very dominating performance again from Vesely, and it looks like he really does enjoy playing this 11th SS Nordland with those Arados. It's fun to see them come out in a competitive setting, that's for sure. But with that, Vesely takes the first seed. He is top of his group in the regular season of Season 6 of the Steel Division 2 League. So congratulations to him. He gets a bye in the playoffs into the semi-finals, but we are going to be seeing more of Gonzo. The first best of 3 that I'm going to be showing you guys in the playoffs of Season 6 is going to be Gonzo versus Neff in round 1 of the playoffs, which is basically the quarterfinals. And yeah, I'm really, really looking forward to see how Gonzo does. He can bounce back from the defeat against Vesely. But yeah, Vesely, very, very impressed with how far he's come, especially against what is such a renowned player in Gonzo. So yeah, very, very impressed. I think Gonzo, throughout the games that we've seen him in playing, the Strauki DP, and I think we saw it with like the first Polish, like the Strauki or the Strauci CKM, I think they're called. They come in with the rifles and then the machine guns. He's been trying to use them in close combat in a lot of cases, and he's been just outclassed by the MG26s. Now, in a lot of cases, the Axis divisions, which have Panzergrens, won't have Panzergrens with MG26s. So you would potentially win out in those engagements. but I don't think it's something he's necessarily identified too well in these games, and it's something that's caused him to lose out on engagements where he would otherwise usually win against other matchups. So yeah, I'm a little bit worried for Gonzo in that sense. But yeah, you can just see how well Vesely's infantry was doing. Like 1 MG26 Panzergrenadier taking out 2 Starky DP and the Starky Komrati. Really, really nice. The Arado bomber came out very early this time. Took out 2 Tankos in 1 strike. Wasn't really terribly effective otherwise. I liked the bombing strike into the town, but it wasn't really followed up on. That's kind of how I feel like the Arado should be used, is like as a preemptive strike before a push. Because they're a very fast aircraft. They can come in, drop that bomb quickly, get out, and then you can push straight after. Whereas like artillery, a bit more predictable, and it gives your opponent time to bring in reinforcements a lot of the time. Whereas an Arado or like any airstrike doesn't allow you to do that. And when you have a 1,000 kilogram bomb with a high amount of suppression, it kind of does the job that Arty would otherwise do as well. The Panther D did really well, managed to survive and get a lot of presence on the bottom side. Stug taking out 2 Su-85s there. Really bad news for Gonzo. The Su-85s are what he needs to try and take out the Stugs and the Panther Ds, but lack of veterancy on those kind of didn't allow them to live up to their full potential. The leader dying early on that hill as well. That was a bit of a mistake from Gonzo, definitely. Didn't make the infantry trades as good as they could have been, but thankfully was already in position, so it didn't punish him too much until other units from Vesely came in. But regardless, very, very good game between the two. Really, really enjoyed it. I think Vesely had the practice from the last game, didn't want to make the same mistakes, didn't this time around, and took advantage of Gonzo's sort of weakness in the infantry department, and also kind of like, I guess, the armor department with the Panthers and so on. I really like the use of the recon aircraft he's been bringing out to make sure he gets good strikes with his bombers and allows his strafing runs to do well. Yeah, just a really, really awesome playstyle coming out of Vesely. Enjoying the games very much. Yeah, congratulations to him. Gets the bye in the playoffs. Moves on straight on to the semi-finals. We're going to see Gonzo next against Neff in round 1 of the playoffs of the Steel Division 2 League. But that's it. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed this match, this video. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.